Hello all, welcome to Ferdinand tutorials. Today let's talk about acids, bases and salts. Now when you hear about acid is a substance whose water solution tastes sour. It turns blue litmus paper to red while the red remains red and neutralizes bases. Now we talk about the types of acids. Now acids are divided into two types based on their occurrence. One is natural, or you can call organic acids. Now they are obtained from organic materials such as plants and animal products. Now for example, we have the citric acid, which is obtained from citric fruits like oranges, oleic acid obtained from olive oil, acetic acid which is obtained from vinegar. Now we also have the butanoic acid. Now butanoic acid is obtained from human sweat. So these are organic or natural acids. Now we have the second one, which is mineral or inorganic acid. Now these are acids derived from minerals. They do not contain carbon. For example, we have the nitric acid, that's HNO3. We have the sulfuric acid, that's H2SO4. We have the hydrochloric acid, that's HCl. We also have ethanoic acid, that's CH3COOH, etc. Now let's talk about the properties of acid. Since we've talked about the types and meaning of acid, why not talk about the properties of acids? Now first is that acids changes blue litmus paper to red. I know some of us know what is called a blue litmus paper, that blue paper. Now it turns it to what? It turns it to red. Now second is that acidic substances convert phenolphthalein from deep pink liquid to a colorless liquid. Now the third one is that acid changes the color of methyl orange or methyl yellow to a pink. The next one is that acid are sour in taste. Now they also lose their acidity when combined with alkaline. These are some of the properties of acid. Now let me talk about this one. Now the pH level of acids ranges from 0.0 to 6.9. You don't need anybody to tell you that, right? The range is from 0.0 to 6.9. Now let me tell you something. When you see a pH scale of 7, it is neither acidic or basic. So it is what? It is neutral. So from 7.1 to 14 is basic or alkaline. So from 0.0 to 6.9 is what? Acidic. Now let's go to the next one, which is base. Remember the topic, we're talking about acids, bases and salts. So we are highlighting these three concepts. We've talked about acid. Now let's talk about bases. Now bases turn red litmus paper to blue, while the blue remains blue. Its aqueous solution tastes bitter. It diffuses soapy and neutralizes acid. Now when you hear about neutralization is talking about a reaction between an acid and a base to form salt and water. Do you understand? So when hydrochloric acid HCl reacts with sodium hydroxide, they form what? Salt and water. So that kind of reaction is called what? A neutralization reaction. So we say that basis neutralizes what? Acid. I hope you get that point now. Now let's talk about the types of bases. Now we have the strong base, we have the weak base, we have the neutral base, we have super base, and we have the what? The solid base. Now let's talk about them one after the other. Please, if you don't get anything that we just discussed, don't forget to call our attention back in the comment section. Write about what you don't understand. We've promised to re-explain it again. Now, if you've not subscribed to this channel, don't forget to click on the subscribe button to subscribe. Now, like this video and share. So let's go back to the video. Now, we have strong base, which is the first type of base. Now, it is a base that is able to remove a proton from a very weak acid. It completely dissociates into its ion when in water. Now, some of the examples of this strong base, we have the sodium hydroxide, NaOH. We have the potassium hydroxide, KOH. We have etc. Now, we have also the weak base. Now, this base does not dissociate completely in water. Now, the aqueous solution contains both the weak base as well as its conjugate acid. Now, here now we're looking at H2O, which is water. We're looking at pyridine, C5H5N. We're also looking at what? NH3, which is what? Ammonia. Now, to the third base, we have the neutral base. Now, it forms a bond with a neutral acid, share an electron pair. Now, the next one there is the super base. Now, this base is better at deprotonation when compared to a strong base. It can be obtained by mixing an alkaline metal with its conjugate acid. It have a very weak conjugate acid, right? It can sustain in aqueous solution as it is a stronger base than hydroxide ion. Remember, we're talking about super base. Now, examples of super bases are, we have the sodium hydride, NaH, we have the orthodimethyl benzene dianion. So that is now the next one there is solid base. Now it is active in solid form. Examples are the silicon dioxide and sodium hydroxide mounted on alumina. And let's look at the properties of base, properties of bases. Now we have number one, they have a bitter taste when placed in alkali solution. They are able to accept protons from proton donors. They react vigorously when in contact with acid. Now, aqueous base solution dissociates into ions to conduct electricity. They change red litmus paper to blue in the color indicator, right? Now, they also have a pH level greater than 7, as I said earlier. They are slippery to touch. Now, when you see your soap, I don't know if you've touched your soap, maybe your bathing soap or your washing soap. You know, they are very slippery to touch. You know why? Because they are being made of bases, right? Let's continue. Now, when reacting with acids, they form salts. That is neutralization reaction that I talked about earlier. Now, they contain hydroxide ion. And the last property there is that they are caustic when concentrated or strong. Now, let's go over to the last one there, which is salts. Remember, acid, bases, and salt. The last one here is salt. Now, salt is an ionic compound that results from the neutralization reactions of acids and bases. It is a neutral substance whose aqueous solution does not affect litmus paper. Now, let's talk about the types of salts. We have the acidic salts, we have the basic or alkaline salts, we have the mixed salt, and we have what? The double salt. Let's take them one after the other. Now, acidic salt is formed by partial neutralization of a diprotic or polyprotic acids. These salts have ionizable hydrogen ion along with another cation. Mostly, the ionizable hydrogen ion is a part of the anion, right? Now, some of the acid salts are used in baking. Now, example, we have sodium hydrogen sulfate, NaHSO4. Now, let's talk about basic or alkali salt. Now, this salt is formed by the partial neutralization of a strong base by a weak acid. Now, when we're talking about a strong base here, we're looking at sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is a strong base. Now, a weak acid here, we're looking at what? Ethanoic acid, CH3COOH, right? Now, they hydrolyze to form a basic solution. Now, it is because when hydrolysis of basic salts takes place, the conjugate base of the weak acid is formed in the solution. Example is what? White lead. Now, let's look at the next one there, which is the mixed salts. These salts consist of a fixed proportion of two salts, often sharing either a common cation or a common anion. Now, example gracia, we have the calcium oxygen chloride. We have the CaOCl2. Now, double salts. These salts contain more than one cation or anion. They are obtained by the combination of two different salts crystallized in the same ionic lattice. Example gracia, that's the example E.G. We have potassium sodium tartrate. Now, to the last one that we have the properties of salts. Salts are transparent and colorless in crystalline form. They are crystals or crystalline powder. They are also soluble in water. So that is it for this topic, acid, bases, and salts. We might not have touched all you need to know. Why not ask that your question in the comment box and allow us to provide a concrete and educative answer for that. So thank you. Now let's see you again in our next video, which is on Thursday, and bye for now.